Greetings once more. This is Gary Dean, and we're back for some more Pillars of Eternity. Well, last episode was an hour and 45 minutes long. Yeah, sorry about that. We're actually not going to be lazy and edit them down to a more sensible time frame, I do believe is the proper word for that. Thinking episode every couple of quests, tasks, or just every half an hour or so if I'm not stuck in the middle of something. But them's are the plans. We'll see how it goes. Because, well, it's good to plan. Just expect them to fall apart on contact with anything. So, without further ado, we are going to just drop into a load, and yep, here we are, our Tinky Pally, right there in Gilded Vale. Well, last episode, considering it has been a week, we have got mauled by a bear. That was fun. Save scummed, and decided that we would just come to Gilded Vale and work from there and wait until we had some more people to beat the bear's face in. Those good plans, yeah? Yeah. So, now we're just waiting for it to load. We're also going to see if I can't get me an intro going. And here we are. Here's me. And here is Gilded Vale. I do believe first we have to make our way towards the center of town. The sound of flies. Away we go. That be a hanging tree.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
Do you welcome everyone this way? Yeah. The answer you hear is the buzzing of flies
Of
from the
course,
tree.
we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
No.
Are you absolutely certain? Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
Well, good for him.
I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
Yeah, I can see that.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
Been feeling strange ever since a close call with the Beowick. Someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
He's such a sunny personality, isn't he? If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. Yeah, something about Hollowborn and Wadwin's legacy before. Forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. Hollowborn have been a scourge upon a Deerwood for almost 15 years now. Children born without souls. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are punishment from the gods. In truth, no one knows. They began spreading after the Saints' War, so the name Wadwin's legacy stuck in honor that foul, blasphemous pretender. I see. Lord Roderick's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. You want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing in Gwithin ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. Probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Bareth have mercy, we certainly have. Maybe so. Like I said, best stay away from those sorts of places.
Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Wonderful.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
What do you mean? Come to us at a time of mourning. Legacy struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Barath must be redoubled. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. No more details on the messengers arrive. Vagaries of child's birth, perhaps. But that is not your concern. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? You can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable, for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Farewell. Well then. Let's go ahead and head to the inn. Because I need to rest anyway, because I'm a little bit beat up. And this is where things get hilarious. See 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. First figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggests an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
For those of you in the know, that is Matthew Mercer. A god amongst mortals and a wonderful DM.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
What's going on? One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused, mocking us even while he shelters in our village. This goes to show you what these fancy Adair manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners, especially not from Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
This is unnecessary. Wouldn't you rather be inside drinking than out here arguing? Don't want your charity either, foreigner. Sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. Oh, oh, oh. Well, this is what you get for trying to be peaceful. Up. Alright, come on. Oh. Well, I can actually hit them. As the last of the attacker falls, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You're welcome.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts, though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He straightens his hood. You note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A Beowick.
And you survived? I've heard such a thing was impossible. But it seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
Been experiencing strange things of late. Looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. And he has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
Expected such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. Just how did you manage to cross those 3 drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did make a rather lewd suggesting regard of one of the aggressors and his own sister. That. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the exit doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For a moment, he was about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief. But before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. Should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler, buddy.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Alrighty, Aloth. So you have a scepter and a rapier. We're going to give you a rod as your primary. Shift the scepter over and drop the rapier back. Let's see here. We're going to set you for damage. Let's level you up. Let's see here. Lore, mechanics. 1 point in survival, 2 in athletics. There we go. Now let's see here. We need ghost blades. I'm gonna take what are we going to take for you? I'm going to take blast. We're going to take off the dazzling lights and slap in ghost blades. Just going to take out the fan of flames. Okay. Some silver lusk, some pond, dagger and a club. Yeah, we're going to take all of that.
Hey there.
Yeah, alright. Let's head in.
Sure.
Alright, let's talk to Pasca
Good
here.
day, stranger.
Hello and welcome to the... Oh, it's you. Tenfrith told us what you did for him. Such a relief to have him back. Can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back at work in the kitchen. So, what would you like? I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. Get a lot of new faces in here, too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Tenfrith's the big draw. Sure we'll get the big crowds back again in no time. Used to work the tables, actually, until the old owner up on the left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. What's the name, see? The Black Hound? Still sitting upstairs pining after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Please, say what you like. Would you like a drink? Or a room? 2 available at the moment. Afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today. Unless you're fond of cold porridge. I could use some reliable help. Know anyone looking for work? Oh, well, wouldn't say I can speak from experience. We do have certain sorts coming by looking for work time to time. Want to hire someone on? I'd be happy to send them your way. Let me see what I have to work with here. Well then, first of all, let's sell some stuff. This is set for sell value. Lose one of the battle axes. Sell one of them. So 3 of them, 2 of them, 1 of you, 2 of you, and 3 of you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You, and you, and keep the scale. We'll keep the hats and such. Okay. Alright, let's run the trade. We can hire an adventurer now. Accept. This one shall be a female. Elf. Took a wood elf. Elven rogue. Yeah, elven rogue. We're gonna take. I'm gonna take a blinding strike on you. Okay, we're gonna max out might and perception. Can minimize these two. Max out those two. Here we are. Okay. Now, where are you from? Deadfire Archipelago is a good one. Living lands. The white that wends. We're gonna take you from the white that wends. You were a hunter. Types of heads you got. Alrighty, starting off completely bald. Considering she's a little bit of a wild elf. I'm looking at 3 possibly. Or 6. Nope, we're going that one. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll go that one. bright freaking red hair. Let's make her a tad paler. And the color's good as is. Next. And you shall be
Just say the word.
cocky. And you shall be area. Done. And now we have a rogue. Oh, we both leveled. Well then,
Just say the word.
first up, area, you are cautious, set to defensive. What's she using? She's using a pike. Let's give her a give her a hunting bow. That is your primary. Your secondary can be a spear and a dagger. Alrighty. Armor you using hide. 5, negative 25. We want you firing off as fast as possible, so we'll put you in some simple clothing. And we're gonna give you a hood and a cape. Hide that pretty hair. Give you a nice dark cape to go with it. Look how that looks. Alright, now for the level ups. Me. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna aim for lore, athletics. Second tick of survival. Alright. The class unlocks. Was. Do I want endurance or focus? Increase accuracy. Or increase DR. Gonna aim for this to give everyone else a bonus to their impacts.
Yeah?
And we are activating that immediately. And Aloth over here. It's more gonna go with lore, mechanics, and save the other points. A couple of new spells. We're gonna take a necrotic lance and combusting wounds. also going to learn that, so I don't have to worry about that later.
Good day, stranger.
And we're going to hire a room. What would take the laborer's rest? Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken, find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman, whose face has shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind, until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up, and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new, queasy apprehension, feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Well,
Hey
ain't
there.
that creepy. Alright, let's go talk with Tenfrith and get whatever he had for me. Ah, it's you, my savior. Makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to one of my most closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. And he gives me a savory pie. I like pie. Savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. Now, all of these with the golden name tags, I'm not going to talk to them because it just vomits out a really large spew of text. However, I am going to take from these because this is not stealing. Hey, a book, as promised. Going to click in and scroll down slowly for those of you who wish to pause. Okay. And I'll take that and the rest go in the stash. And let's go upstairs.
Sure.
Check the bookshelf. 10 Years of Dawn. Take, and away we go. Gonna come over here. And we're gonna talk to the puppy. Alan stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. Looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. I shall pet the doggy. Oh, no, talk to it. Sorry, girl. I don't think he's coming back. Well, you can come with me. Maybe we'll find him on the way. Bork, bork. And now... Of course she's hiding behind the wall. And there she is. Ah, has a puppy. Alright, we're gonna go check this, and we will end this episode here. Methinks. Yep, this is where I'm gonna be ending this particular episode. So, we're gonna go over here. Villages. Villages everywhere. Yeah, dirty jokes going on up here. Tisk tisk. And Caldara de Baranzi. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. Bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. Perceive a faint glow around you that casts no light on surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Let us reach out for the woman. Take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you've expanded enough to reach her, there's a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she's staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you can no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty world. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy, even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, oh, not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on. And those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either living or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their honor can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
What did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties. You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
I think I survived a Beerwick. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
Want to know something about you?
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear, Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations. Miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other. Turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid.
Isn't that the truth?
It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Crucible of the soul. All right, you seemed lost just now. I'm a watcher. Well, that is interesting. And I expect that explains how you survived a Biolak. In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about Watchers? Only that they're rare, and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions, as you've just demonstrated. Let's continue on.
17 and a half.
Smell of pipe smoke, once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
I'm sorry?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What are you talking about?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
Makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
You think you're gonna be hanged?
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
The war? Saints War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decides he's the living incarnation of Aethys. Overthrows Rhaetceres, marches on Deerwood. So they gave him a Deerwooden hello. It's a Deerwooden hello.
We blew him up.
Who's Aethys? God of rebirth and redemption. Formerly, anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. I had other questions. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Roderick sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority. Someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Radric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, as my headman, steps up and said it's him. Took him at his word. Bound to happen sooner or later. Not for plotting against Radric, then for protecting me. What does your town have against you?
Picked the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there owns a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the Legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Radric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
You could see why I was eager to leave. Who's Kolsk? Someone got tired of the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Widewind's legacy started with Widewind. We could travel together. Where are you headed? Someplace called Kednua. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But, truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
It's a fine reason if I ever heard one.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
Let's get going then. Move you forward ahead of those two. Your class behavior is aggressive. Access to your per-use abilities. Did I give you access to your per-use?
Yeah.
Did not, but I need to.
How may I help?
Good. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna run through his level up and equipping. And we're gonna call this episode Dunsky. Now, what do you got? You got a... Here, get back up there. Got a saber for slash damage. What's the speed? Average. You already do slash damage. I'm gonna give you a mace. Second hand. Your secondary weapon. Yeah, that's acceptable. I'm gonna go ahead and close you. Alrighty then. Alright, because you're aggressive. Yep, need to level you up. We're gonna... Athletics. And survival are gonna be what you're focusing in. Gonna give you... Just gonna give you 2 weapon style. Increase the speed at which you're swinging that stuff. Although, let's see here, you're using a saber. I'll probably easily swap you for the club. And give you the ruffian type. That'll increase the accuracy with both your weapons. Gonna go weapon focus ruffian. And swap the mace for a club. Oh, this is his next level. Next, we're gonna give you... Discipline Barrage. Allows you to get cracking, quite literally. Alright, we're gonna swap you with the club. What does Sharp do? Oh, damage increase. That's why it does so much. Alright, more accuracy with that club. And it's faster. That'll work. Alrighty. And that is the first of the 2 episodes. Or of however many episodes. I don't know how many this is going to end up being. Next time around, we're going to start visiting places, starting with Alfra's home. Well, actually, next episode, we're going to go take care of that bear. I think 4 people are plenty. Well, until next time.